Outside of pickup trucks, compact SUVs are the best-selling vehicles in the US. It stands to reason then that Volkswagen's Tiguan is its best-selling model. And that also means that there's a lot of pressure on VW to perform with this all-new 2025 Tiguan. Before we get into this review, do us a favor, hit those like and subscribe buttons below to get all of our latest content. First up for this new Tiguan are the looks. Obviously, it looks different. Looking at the front, it has a lot of inspiration drawn from the ID.4, the all-electric compact SUV. Now, it's especially notable right here. So you have this light bar, and in the top trim, it actually lights up at night. We have a hint of a grille down here, but it's actually only that area right there. It doesn't need that much cooling. From the side view, we have shorter overhangs in the front and in the back. Down the side, we have this super sharp crease that really adds a lot of character. Also different is it's not offered with a third row anymore. That means this is strictly a 5-passenger SUV. And around the back, we have a little bit of an echo of the front with this light bar here that's red instead of white. Now there's also a little bit of an echo of that grille, but I'm not quite sold if that's a good embellishment or not. Otherwise, it's a pretty tidy look. Under the hood of the Tiguan is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that's good for 201 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque. And that's up from 184 horsepower from the last generation. An 8-speed automatic is the only transmission offered, and Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive is available. Oddly enough, there is another engine that's already been announced for 2026 with a bigger turbo, but we'll get to that later. Now, the interior of this Tiguan has a lot of improvements, and I'm going to go over all of them. First off, and perhaps the most important, at least to me, is the capacitive touch buttons on the steering wheel are gone. They were the bane of my existence before. They were so finicky and difficult to use, especially if you're just trying to adjust the volume. Now we have actual physical buttons that are easy to use and really don't require you to take your eyes off the road to use either. Another big change is the gear selector has moved from the center console to the steering column. That opens up a lot more space here for storage, and honestly, it makes it a little more intuitive. It's a lot like Hyundai and Kia's, how they flip forward to go forward, flip backwards to go in reverse. So it only takes maybe 1 or 2 tries to get the hang of it. As far as the interior design goes, it's appropriately modern. It comes standard with this digital instrument panel, and here in the center we have a standard 12.9-inch infotainment touchscreen. There is, however, a 15-inch that's available. Honestly, I think the 12.9-inch screen is plenty for most people. It's just a matter of if you're going to miss out on any of the higher-end features with the larger screen. I will knock it just a little bit because they did still include some capacitive touch sliders here, but to their credit, you can still tap instead of slide, and you have this volume knob here in the center. Now when you get to the top trim, you also get a lot more luxury items, especially when it comes to seating. You'll get ventilated seats that also have massage functions, and that definitely makes a long road trip much more bearable. Now, as far as storage goes, we have quite a bit. We have these moderately sized cup holders, as well as this little slot here that might come in handy for someone's phone. Now, one thing I really like here is this whole center area has been cleaned up a little bit. There's an actual physical knob for the volume, and when you tap it, it gives you the options for drive modes. One thing that I think is a little weird is the engine start-stop button. It's just kind of the gray-black plastic button here, where most others, it's a little easier to find because they make it a red dot. But if you own the car, well, it'll only take you 1 or 2 tries to get used to that as well. Right behind that, we have this really long armrest bin that has this nice removable tray, as well as a wireless phone charger right here that doesn't take a whole lot of finesse to make sure that it's aligned and charging. In the doors, we have these deep door pockets that'll easily hold some of the larger water flasks, but it's not quite as long or as accommodating as what you'd find in some rivals. When it comes to materials quality, it's about what you'd expect. It's adequate, but not really all that impressive. You do have soft touch materials where it really counts, where you're going to come into contact with, but there is a hard plastic center console that sort of takes that luxury fantasy away. Now that Volkswagen got rid of that optional third row, there's a little bit more space in the second row. As you can see, I have plenty of legroom and footroom. I mean, tons of knee room, and the front seat is set for me, and I'm 5'10". As far as headroom goes, I still have an inch or two above my head, and that's including this huge panoramic sunroof. As is customary in this class, materials quality isn't quite as nice as up front, but that means it's going to be a little more durable, which is great if you have kids or dogs. As far as amenities go, we have 2 USB-C chargers right here, but no separate climate controls, though we do have 2 vents. And here over my shoulder, we have 2 cup holders in the center armrest. And that's about it. Now, when it comes to cargo capacity, we don't have specs yet, but just visually, it seems a little small for the class, especially if you're only loading up to the top of the seat backs here. Now, there's not a lot of space underneath the floor either. It's taken up by the spare, but there are some rather deep pockets to the side. One thing that really helps, though, are these remote seat back releases. You don't even have to push it down. It just falls by itself, so that's a good plus. Another advantage are these little hooks that are built in here that'll hold your shopping bags and keep stuff from rattling around back here. From behind the wheel of the Tiguan, there's honestly not a whole lot to say, and that's a good thing. This isn't an electric car, it's not a sports car. It just has to get you from point A to point B comfortably, and it does that quite well. Now, power delivery is about what you'd expect. It's average, it's not impressive, but it's also not slow. You're probably never gonna have to floor it to get on a highway, so yeah, in that case, it's more than adequate. I honestly don't see upgrading to that bigger turbo engine unless you really want a spirited drive experience. As far as handling goes, it's also more than adequate, but also, again, not sporty. It just tracks beautifully through the turns. There's no surprises. It just does exactly what it's supposed to do. The ride quality is nice and smooth, and it's fairly quiet inside. We're on a fairly rough asphalt road here, and I'm not hearing a lot of road noise and no wind noise at all. And even with the rain outside, we're pretty well isolated. Since this isn't electrified or hybridized, it slows down just like a normal car should. You hit the brakes and yeah, there's no transition, there's no weird feel. It just does exactly what it's supposed to do. Visibility-wise, it's fine. It's about what you'd expect from any compact SUV. The view out the back isn't great, but you still get an idea of what's behind you. This roof pillar here doesn't get in the way through tight left turns, so all in all, it's just easy to live with. As with almost any vehicle in the class, it comes loaded with all the advanced safety features you could ever dream of, and so far, we haven't had any false alarms or any glitches, so overall, it just, again, does what it's supposed to do without any drama, without any problems. Pricing for the Tiguan starts right around $31,000 for the base S trim. If you want 4Motion all-wheel drive, that'll add another $1,500 or so. Stepping up to the SE trim adds a power liftgate, bigger wheels, and interior lighting. Closer to the top, you have the SEL R-Line for around $41,000 that steps up to 20-inch wheels, a lighted grille bar, and adds leather and wood on the inside. The thing is, with that 2026 model adding the more powerful SEL R-Line Turbo with 268 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, well, it sort of asks the question, do you wait for it? In most cases, I would say no. As it is, the base engine is more than enough for most drivers. It's only for the select few that really want a spirited driving experience. They should step up to that turbo. It's the same type of customer that might step up for the turbo in the Mazda CX-50 or CX-5. And that begs the question, what else would you get besides a Tiguan? Well, at the top of the class, you have the Honda CR-V and Kia Sportage, and further down you have Toyota's RAV4, which is due for a full redesign. The Tiguan is set to go on sale in just a few weeks, and according to the specs, fuel economy is comparable to all of its competitors. There is no hybrid at the moment, but Volkswagen says it's in development. So with all of these choices, what would you do? Would you stick with the Tiguan or perhaps go with one of its rivals? Also, would you wait for the turbo? Let us know what you'd do in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below to get all of our latest reviews.